recently read an amazing fact the other day. It said that at 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, it boils. And with boiling water comes steam. And with steam, you can power a locomotive. Raising the temperature by 1 extra degree means the difference between something just being hot and something powering this massive machine. Isn't that amazing? Well, think about if you made one small change in your life, it could absolutely change the whole direction and course of your life. And that's what I want to talk to you about today and the rest of this month. And you know, I only know how to preach from experience. I remember a time in my life when I felt absolutely hopeless, had no vision for my life, extremely discouraged, full of misery, anxiety, shame, guilt. Boy, I really sounded like a mess, huh? I was a mess. But I remember listening to a message back then that told me that I could make one small change that would change my life. And the change I want to talk to you about is something that's located right under your nose, and it's your mouth. You have the power to absolutely change your life based on what you do with your mouth. Your mouth can be that 1 extra degree that takes you from just, the hot water to powering a locomotive. And I'm telling you this from experience. You can go from being hopeless to hopeful. You can go from discouraged to being encouraged. You can go from being complacent to being someone full of vision and full of life. And during that time in my life, when my life was such a mess, I remember this phrase, and you've probably heard me say this before. I'm reading this book, I'm miserable, I'm discouraged, I'm feeling hopeless, and in there it said, stop looking at everything that's lost in your life and start looking for what's left, and begin praising God for what you have left. And I thought, praise God for what I have left. What do I have left? I can't even think of anything I have left. Then it said, when you begin focusing your mouth, praising God for what you have left, you have just opened the doorway for God to begin moving in your life. And I'm telling you, it works. When you begin just thanking God for what you do have in your life, it will absolutely change your life. Because praise and thanksgiving gets the very ear of God. You look at the Israelites in the Bible and how complaining, out of their mouths, they complain constantly, over and over and over. And they turned an 11-day journey into a 40-year experience based on what was coming out of their mouths. And I heard someone say recently that when we complain, complaining only brings you more of what you're complaining about. Think about it. If you just constantly complain about how I will never lose weight, I have the hardest time losing weight, every diet I try, it never works, or I will never get married. Everybody else seems to get married, but I never get married. Or I guess I'll never get out of debt. I've been trying to get this thing paid off for years, can't get it paid off. Every time you complain, you're just locking yourself into that situation. And complaining keeps you in bondage. That's what I want you to really get from this. Complaining keeps you in bondage. Praising God is what opens the door for Him to begin moving in your life. Proverbs 18:21 tells us, it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they who indulge in it shall eat the fruit of it for death or for life. Think about that. Death and life are in the power of your tongue. In other words, you have the ability to change your life based on what you do with your mouth. And I want you to just practice, listen to yourself, and just listen to how many times you're complaining about your life. I even got onto myself just today as I was driving to work. I started thinking about all the things I need to do. And I just could feel that, almost wanting to complain that I've got so much to do. You know what? I'm grateful that I have things to do. I'm grateful that I have an amazing job, an amazing ministry, that people like you are watching me today. When you turn it around and you begin thanking God, in fact, I've heard my dad say that praise is the shortest distance between you and God. When you begin praising God that you have a job, praising God that you have a home to live in, praising God for who you need Him to be in your life, you have just opened the door for Him to begin moving. I get so many emails and letters from people who are struggling in so many different areas of their lives, whether it's soul ties with the wrong person that they're trying to break, but boy, they're still wrapped into that relationship, whether it's being overweight, financial problems, depression, all types of issues. I want you to practice using your mouth to begin worshiping God, praising God, and thanking Him for what He is doing in your life. Because like I said, your mouth has the power to absolutely change your life. And you know, I have memories of me going through that horrible time in my life. And not just that time, but so many times where pressure and just stress was trying to come on me. And I would make myself just start praising God, thanking God for what He is doing in my life. Stop focusing on what isn't happening and just start praising God. And I'm telling you, when you practice this, you are going to feel that oppression just start to lift off of you. You're going to feel all that misery and that anxiety, it'll just start to lift. And the reason why is because all it takes is that one small change that can take you from hot water to boiling water to steam that can power a locomotive. You can absolutely change the course of your life by what you do with your mouth. So that's my challenge for you. I want you to stop the struggle. And the way you stop it is use your mouth to focus on God rather than focusing on your problems. I want you to get this series called Stop the Struggle. This is a series that my mom and I did together, so it's really, really unique and different. My mom, she is a powerhouse and she preaches from a totally different angle than I do, and then I come in with the practical level on how to stop struggling, whether it's finances, weight, depression, anxiety, whatever it is. So I want you to practice that this month. Practice using your mouth to see changes in your life. Thank you for watching me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.